Hi there, I'm Lucas from Langmaster Learning System. Today, we will practice our listening skills through short stories. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button for more useful videos. The Tale of Two Brothers. Once upon a time, deep in a forest, lived two brothers. They were very poor and lived in a small tent. Every morning, the older brother would go walking through the forest to find vegetables or fruits to eat, whereas the younger brother would take all of their clothes to the nearest river to wash. One day, a group of hunters who had been lost and wandering through the forest for several weeks came across the brothers' tent. They went inside the tent and were delighted to find many things to eat, so they stole it all. Just at that moment, the younger brother came back to the tent from the river. He climbed into his tent as usual, but found the group of hunters inside the tent, taking all his food. He was totally surprised and didn't know what to do. The hunters looked menacingly at the younger brother. They had not yet been able to catch anything in the forest recently. They had nothing to sell and had no money either. They decided to kidnap the young boy, thinking they could sell him to someone in the village nearby. The younger brother was now very scared. When they started binding his hands, he started screaming as loudly as he could. When the hunters got out of the tent, they saw another young boy, huffing and puffing, running towards them. It seemed like he was running back to the tent at a very fast speed. The older brother ran up to the hunters and begged them to spare his little brother's life and take him instead. After hearing his older brother's plea, the younger brother cried even louder. The hunters were very surprised and touched at the same time. They had never met anyone like these boys before. So they let both of the boys go. After a time, one of the hunters told another person about that touching story. And eventually, everyone in the nearby village knew about the brothers' story. From then on, whenever anyone from the village came to the forest, they would pay a visit to the brothers' tent and give them something to eat, or assist them whenever they needed. The Greedy Entrepreneur. In a small town, there was an entrepreneur who was known for his insatiable greed. He made corrupt use of his relationships and used every trick to earn money. Since he was the only man who could sell fabrics in this town, the people living in the town had to pay pure gold if they wanted to sew a coat for the cold winter. The entrepreneur had one brother. One day, when his brother was strolling around the town, a poor old lady took his hand and started begging for money. As she didn't have any pennies left to buy food for her family. The boy was flabbergasted and quickly bought her some fresh fruits and bread. "Thanks so much, young boy," she said. "Because of your kindness, now my family has something to eat. Honestly, I don't have any money in my pocket. I used the money, which I miserably earned when I was young, to buy clothes for my 2 poor children." After hearing her story, the boy was completely dumbfounded, and he found out how expensive the fabric was. He didn't consent to the price with his brother. Then he told him to stop doing this wrongful act, which pushed everybody else into misery. However, the entrepreneur didn't take his brother's opinion on board. Then the boy determined to convince the entrepreneur. Even when his family was super rich, the young brother still did hard work to earn money. He did every job, no matter how exhausting the job was. Then, after 1 year, he gave all of his money to his brother. The entrepreneur was very surprised when he held the money. The young brother said, "My dear brother, we can earn money back, but when our conscience is lost, it's hard to find it." Then the entrepreneur felt a great sense of shame, as his brother did not hesitate to work hard. How can he keep being so greedy? Afterward, the entrepreneur gave up his greed forever and used half of his money to assist poor people and help them to have a better life. The way we convince others is the same as how we melt ice. The strong and thick ice is not formed after only one cold night. Therefore, our fire must slowly and gradually burn. Then it will melt. That's all for this lesson. Thanks so much for watching. Do you like these stories? Please share your ideas with me. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. In case you want to know more about our English course, please leave your phone number and email address in the comment box below. I'm Lucas from Langmaster Learning System. Goodbye.